It's Knights versus Trojans. Varsity boys soccer decides supremacy between purple and white. From Steve Ellison Field, it's Roseland Prep and Petaluma next.
Touchdown, Trojan!
And good evening from Steve Ellison Field. I'm Griffin Epstein, joining you here for Varsity Boys Soccer, Roseland University Prep, and Petaluma High School in what should be a good one between two young but talented teams here tonight from Steve Ellison Field. Petaluma Trojans had a rough year last year, only 3 wins, but they have turned things around so far to start this season. Coming off a victory on Tuesday and had 2 satisfying draws last week, prospects are looking up for a very talented Petaluma team, but they will have their stiffest test here tonight against a Roseland team that's transitioning from fall season into a winter season, but they have a lot of talent, including going to the NCS championship game last year in the fall season. Should be a good one. Full game is coming up next with play-by-play and more. Roseland and Petaluma. Up top, Steve Ellison Field, we are just about ready to go. Roseland Prep in the white and Petaluma in the dark purple. Trojans 1-0-2 to start the year, coming off a best victory, best game of the season, a dominant 2-0 victory over El Molino on Tuesday night. Roseland defeated Healdsburg 2-1 last week. This is their second game of the season. They're 1-0. Roseland will start with the ball, and we're underway. 40 minutes of soccer in this first half, and then 40 minutes of soccer in the second. Roseland quick to push it up. Just had to be knocked out by David Swanson, junior center back for the young Trojans. Mentioned in the open, coming off a rough season last year, 3 wins. But after last year, they started 7 straight losses. They have not lost a game yet this year. That is already a big benefit. So that is a poor cross over the middle. No problem. Ford just has to let it go out. It'll be a kick. Free kick. Goal kick. Roseland Prep has really improved a lot, and the reason that they are playing in the winter instead of the fall, they're playing in the NBL Redwood League this year. They don't field a lot of other teams sports-wise. It's a small school in West Santa Rosa, but an excellent soccer team, so they moved to winter from fall. Last year was ranked the 4th best team in California in terms of fall sports, but of course all the big schools play in the winter, so that is why they have moved. They got entrance into the NBL Redwood and out of the Northern Coastal League, which they were in last year. Won 12-0, undefeated last year, and lost to Gateway in the NCS championship game in double overtime. They lose a lot of experience from that team. Choppy game here to start. Minute gone. Shumakowski looking forward. Unable to catch up to it was Raiden Cristobal. Trojan's senior wing, one of 5 seniors on still a young Trojan team. Lost 5 seniors from last year's team, 6 underclassmen on Petaluma, but a lot of them very talented, especially at the striker position. Luis Carlito Garcia, sophomore, with a goal against El Molino. Gonzalez, who's been on varsity since a freshman, now the captain. Trying to control it, back to Shumakowski. Heads out, it will stay Trojan ball. Trojans going with the 4-4-2 formation. They played first against Healdsburg, a 0-0 draw, home opener and season opener, with a 4-5-1, as this one is centered. It's mishandled. It's still loose. Carlito Garcia's got it. Back to Schrock, who was hoping for something special over the middle, didn't get it. Now you got to be careful the other way. Near disaster by Roseland in the box, poorly handled by the goalkeeper. Carlito Garcia, we mentioned him, so dangerous on the striker end for Petaluma. He can finish. Nearly had an opportunity as it was coughed up. The Knights trying to go the other way. They've got something going here. And it's just sent in and no one there. Ford can just let it, watch it go. Roseland goalkeeper Cesar Ayala, a senior, one of 6 seniors on Roseland, but they lost 9 seniors from last year. They only have 8 returners. They are even younger than Petaluma. So it's a hard transition, but they showed their merit. A 2-1 victory against Healdsburg last week. And remember, Petaluma had a scoreless draw with the Greyhounds when they played last week here, though the Trojans certainly seem like they have improved in a week. It's a young team. A lot of them haven't played together. Very new look from last year under head coach Greg Lemansky. It's Ford easily fields it. Nice kick to the center circle. Devin Chenzi battling. Expect Petaluma to improve, and I think they had a lot in their first 2 games. Shutdown defense against El Molino. Excellent passing, or credit to that victory, but clinical finishing as well. A 1-1 draw last Thursday against Annalee. Ford has been busy early, but he's not been challenged. Roseland sending a lot of balls deep and hoping that they can get someone on the end of it. But no dice so far. Pretty even possession, 50-50. Petaluma with the best chance. 3 minutes gone here. Foul called on the sophomore Schrock. Sophomore center mid, one of 6 underclassmen on this Petaluma team, including 5 sophomores. They have the same amount of sophomores as seniors. Free kick for Roseland. Again, just too deep. I don't know if the adrenaline or what it is for Roseland. They haven't played in a week. But they are not connecting on their passes right now, and Ford is just getting it easily. Petaluma would like to pick up the possession a little. No score. 5 minutes gone here in this first half. And it heads out. Nice job by Cristobal with the deflection. Stays Roseland ball. Actually, they're going to award it to Petaluma. Cristobal, also on the varsity football team, played very well as a cornerback for Petaluma. A couple nice plays, also involved in a running back. Remember his older brother, who was not only a star on the football team, but he was also an excellent player on the soccer team. Including a nice play by Ayala to come out and get that one. Including on the NCS champion 2015 Petaluma boys soccer team. Nice job by Swanson, just clearing it back. It's Petaluma defense, a lot more experienced than most of the rest of this team. They don't let a lot through. Just 1 goal allowed so far in 3 games. Trojans won NCS in 2015, similar to Roseland. They were playing in the fall that year when most of the big schools had moved to the winter. And they moved 2016 when SCL moved. SCL was just a year behind. Now the Trojans in the new look VVAL, and we'll get into that a little more as the game goes on, but it is very, very competitive in boys soccer this year in the VVL. A huge upgrade from SCL, who was not bad at all in boys soccer. Vintage, one of the best teams in the state. Petaluma will get to see them. They're going to be challenged this year in boys soccer. And so far, a good start to the season. And a slow start to this one. Carlito Garcia battling. I'm sorry, that's Cristobal. Looked like he was hit in the head by the captain, Brian Cruz. One of the captains. A junior for Roseland University Prep. Swanson a long free kick. Carlito Garcia with the header. Actually, they were looking for Carlito Garcia. It was Ryan Duff who sent on the header, but a little bit too far. Passes for both teams haven't totally been there just yet. Tino Fozeca in his 7th year as the Knights head coach. He's built an excellent program. They pretty much dominant in the North Coast League. That was this number 2. They have 3 based on school size, and really a main reason to move. Undefeated last year. They won 15 straight games at a point. Were pretty dominant for stretches of the season. They wanted a test. That one just cleared away by Swanson, the other co-captain with Gonzalez. Most teams purple and white. Won't see that a lot. See who's purple and white supremacy tonight on the soccer field. Trojans trying to piece together a win streak, something they did not have all of last year. Shumakowski back, couldn't control it. That looks like that's going to be a corner. It will indeed. So the first corner of the game awarded to Roseland. The senior Shumakowski struggled to control it. Ethan Ford, who was on varsity as a freshman, took the year off last year, returns, and Coach Slamansky and the whole team has to be very grateful. He has been excellent for Petaluma so far, in goal so far, with some excellent saves. Roseland tries to go short corner, poor pass. Carlito Garcia's got speed, he takes off. This could be a dangerous break. A hard tackle sliding in, nice play by number 16 for Roseland. It was Manuel Albar, sophomore. Frantic, quick, sloppy pace here early. Petaluma and Roseland. No score. At 8 gone. This deflects, could be dangerous. Ford will come out and get it. He dropped it and made things a little bit more interesting than you would have liked for the Trojan fans in the audience tonight, but able to garner it. Roseland's pass is still right now overshooting their men. Foul called on Petaluma. They've called it tight here early. See the Trojan coaches looking on. Nice job by Wilson, Tony Wilson, the junior, to intercept that. And the senior Devin Genzi pushing it forward. Gonzalez looking for Carlito Garcia. And the keeper, Ayala, coming off his line. An excellent play. He did not want to be one-on-one with one of the best players out on the pitch in Carlito Garcia. And it actually deflects off the Trojan sophomore, Roseland ball. Substitution for Roseland. Actually, a referee substitution. Well, you didn't normally see a player substitution, but you never know. Looks like the refs have decided to switch off, I think. Ah, he was late. Yeah, well, they were all late. They were all waiting for any refs to show up. We got 2 in time for game time. The third one, the third lines judge, has shown up. Swanson, the nice header to get it forward. Trojans have played well defensively. See if they can turn that into offense. With the counter-attack potentially. Skilled move by Carlito Garcia. Schruck comes up to help. Gonzalez. And a late foul. You got to watch your feet, especially if you don't contest. Can't follow through. Give Roseland free opportunities, but so far the Knights have shown an inability to create when they have control of the ball. They've needed breaks, and Petaluma's mostly sat back and been content and haven't been overly pressured. Ten minutes through here, no score. Ayala's had to come out and make a couple nice plays. It's a quiet, moderately cool evening here at Steve Ellison Field, Thursday night. It's sent in, and Wilson sends it out. Rebound. Hits softly to Ford, who fields it without too much trouble and gets the approval of the cowbell from this crowd. About 50 Trojan supporters have made their way, and I'd say Roseland has had a nice group of supporters filling their stands as well. Maybe about 20 have made the 30-minute trip south from Santa Rosa. They've had to travel a lot when they played in the fall, playing the likes of Fortuna, who they beat in the semifinals last year in NCS. Of course, Petaluma fans will remember that well. Overtime victory over Fortuna to win their first ever NCS championship. Not a single player, however, was on that team. The seniors were freshmen, but there were no freshmen on that team. They've all graduated by now. Battle in the corner. Stays Roseland ball, and that went out on the end line. So a corner for the Knights. Already had one. Went for the short corner. Mentioned the Knights goalkeeper. He is a senior, but he does not return. There are 6 seniors on this Knight team, and only 8 returners overall. It's actually not a corner, it's just a short free kick. Spiraling in dangerously, it managed to go through everyone without any damage. And then an excellent play by the Knight to knock it off Tony Wilson, who's had to do a lot of fighting here early, the right back. Gonzalez, excellent play. Booting it forward, but it got deflected. Roseland just trying to keep the pressure on here. Swanson. Carlito Garcia trying to run it down. He's awfully short, but he is so speedy and he has a fight of a prize fighter. Devin Chenzi comes on in. And Ayala will come off his line. He's had to do that a couple times tonight, as has Ford. These teams look pretty even here early. Roseland a little bit more offensive, but that's just the style. The Knights pushing up. Devin Chenji, center defender mid. He's one of the more experienced players on this team. He's been on varsity since a sophomore, him and Gonzalez. He's on a pretty good team his sophomore year. Our team finished second in SCL before lost a massive group of seniors from that team. That has really, really hurt them. Really hurt in a rough season. Everything that could go wrong really did go wrong for the team last year. And especially such a rough start made things so much harder. That they've had a good start, and yes, it's not against the best teams. They beat the three wins they had last year. So we have a couple of substitutions, Cristobal and Devin Chenzi off, and Cortez de Leon and Juarez on. Their 3 wins last year against El Molino, Healdsburg, and Annalee, and yeah, those are the 3 teams they've played so far. But still, just to start off on the right foot is big, and there are susceptible teams in the VVAL. And they should be in the middle tier based on how everything looks and if they can continue to improve. Trojan ball here. Force Roseland to sit back. No recorded shots on goal so far for either team. But you wait for that right moment. Prokop to throw it in. Tried to cross it, but Roseland, the nice block. Ricardo Alvarado, sophomore. They're battling here along the headline. The new Steve Ellison Field. Trojans didn't get to play a game here last year. Their home games were scattered. Sometimes at Casa Grande, sometimes at Lucchese Field, sometimes at East Washington Field. Whatever field would take them. It was a rough ordeal being unable to not play on your home field and just have whatever turf field was available. But even the years before, or at least the year before when they played in the winter with a field, a grass field's pretty impossible to play on once you get to this point in the winter. The fall, it's all right, but it was getting muddy. And it's just one of the huge reasons that this artificial turf field was built was for this reason. So games in December after we've had a bunch of inches of rain in the last week that would be unplayable on a grass field can be played. All weather conditions. Juarez. Gonzalez, give and go. There's a little miscommunication there. Juarez coming up from JV. No JV game tonight. Roseland does not have a JV team. Trojans were looking for Carlito Garcia, and again, that's who they want to see on the end of it. He's got a goal this year. Ryan Duff with a goal. And also Pablo Cortez de Leon scored against El Molino. This one crossed over. Schrock in a moment of fright, just having to clear it away. "15 minutes gone, no score from Steve Ellison Field, Roseland and Petaluma. This night has descended, this early evening start time game. About 55 degrees. No wind, which is nice. Girls soccer game on Monday night was so much colder because it was very windy. Stays Roseland ball. Petaluma hasn't won all those 50-50 balls yet, and it's been a big help for Roseland with a lot more, allowing them to have a lot more possession. Trojans shifted to that 4-4-2, hoping they could score more and have more attackers up front for their counterattacks, their primary mode of offense. Ford comes out of goal just to get a uninteresting cross. Boots it away. Trojans get it forward, but they haven't had a lot of control. It's just not their style. Ayala certainly having some fun. He's doing some dancing. He's way off his mark all the way to the 20-yard line on this football field. And finally just has to clear it away. Well, that's a uncomfortable position for Swanson, who's going to hope it goes out. He did get the call. That kick rolled all the way to the end line. Nice play by Swanson. Junior cornerbacks, leader on this defense. We'll get a couple more changes, including on the defensive end. Quinn Davis will enter. Another returning center back on this experienced defensive corps. Trojans booted forward. Cortez de Leon running after it. Couldn't get to it. Mentioned Ford, and it's really important that he's been back. A reliable goalkeeper. Trojans, one of their issues last year, they were cycling through goalkeepers. That's offsides. Started the year with Josh Hagan in goal. He got hurt out for the year. Tried Matthew Kalemba. He was in and out. Alex Sanchez, not even used to playing goal. He was playing somewhat. It was inconsistent who was in goal, and you want that consistency at a position that's so mental. And if you know you're not playing well, it's going to get to your head, and goals that you should prevent happen. The Trojans look like they found their man in the junior forward. It's not been too tested tonight. A couple nice plays. Davis gets his first action. And battles in the middle of the field so far on this one. Fun fact here, Quinn Davis is on 2 hours of sleep, so he's still playing valiant defending. It's always hard to balance as that one heads out. Roseland ball, being an athlete, being a student, or awards handed out at team dinners after the season for students that can maintain academic integrity, academic excellence, and athletic play as well. It's a challenge to time it, piece it all together, and often you're up late because you're doing both, but does your performance suffer because you're needing to sleep? How do you manage that? It's often credited for one of the reasons there is declining high school sports participation in a variety of sports, especially in football. Petaluma saw that this year with no freshman football team for the first time in a very long time, since most remember. Roseland wins another ball again, the end line here. Centered in, there's just not been anyone on the end of any of these balls for Roseland. They haven't been able to piece it together, but it is dangerous. They've found ways to get balls into the box, no problem. They just need a striker and an attacker there to finish it off, make forward work. And you want to put balls in the box, even you just don't know what's going to happen. But if no one is even near it, it makes it hard. Petaluma's had a couple chances with balls in the box, but not too much action. Roseland has controlled play here tonight. Kind of done things on their own agenda, but It's much more Petaluma style. They're going to rely on their defense. Trojans want it onside. This one sent over. Dangerous. It's cleared out by Swanson. Shumakowski trying to come after it. Ford is back in goal. It deflects off Swanson's heads. It's still in. It's crossed dangerously all the way across. Shumakowski will stop it, and Swanson finally clears it. Now the Trojans might have something on the other end. Gianluca Mio is after it, and Cortez de Leon trying to get on the other end of that one. Up and down action. Best chance of the night for either team. Nice play there by Prokop to head it out. Gianluca Di Maria, that's what I should say. Another talented underclassman, only freshman on this team. Carlito Garcia trying to get fancy, and head coach Greg Lemansky not happy with him. And sent forward. Forward having to come out. The idea approved by head coach Tony Fonseca for Roseland. Not able to get on the end of it. They finally got one on the end of a long pass. And it created some chances, some opportunities, and some real danger. Petaluma on the other end, the cross. Roseland just having to clear it away to this beautiful new track. Field not even a year old. Girls soccer team was able to play their first round NCS game here last year, but boys soccer season was over just when they were finally able to open up the field. Davis with the throw-in. Roseland pulls it down. And they are headed the other way. They've got some numbers, too, down the right side. Forward and offsides is the call. Number 21, Christian Estrada. That's a speedy freshman. We've seen Petaluma's speedy freshman as well, was speeding down the right lane. But he left a little early. About halfway through this first half, no score, but things are picking up between both sides after a little bit of a feeling out process for the first 10-15 minutes. Starting to see some more creativity on both sides. Again, set forward, and again, forward heads out. A little bit of a scared-looking kick, but he got it out, and they got the bounce as well. Carlito Garcia getting it forward. Trojans unable to control. Shumakowski got the ball off his foot to that one. You could hear it. Trojans unable to have much control in Roseland's end so far. It's going to be hard to create offensive opportunities tonight if they want that. Ford comes out. And so far, a busy night for him. Trojans put a little bit of pressure early on the Roseland goalkeeper, Cesar Ayala, who looked a little bit incompetent in handling the ball, but it's been about 10 minutes since they've even got anything near him. Down the end line. Just cleared away. We've got a observer through the window. I think Mr. Brazil might be having a chemistry study session or taking a break and observing a soccer match here on this Thursday night. Trojans get it forward, trying to get Demario in the action. Nice play by Prokop, intercepting it. Trojans now maybe with a break. Was looking for Cortez de Leon, the sophomore striker, but couldn't find him. It is all underclassmen up top for Petaluma. It's a young bunch with a lot of talent. They lost all their strikers from last year, though. It was not a point-potent scoring bunch by any stretch of the imagination last year. Petaluma really struggled to score. 3 wins, 1 draw. And 1 draw was against El Molino. The Trojans got even worse over the course of the year, too. We mentioned they beat Annalee, beat Healdsburg, beat Elmo. Those were all in the first half of SCL play, and they lost to all those teams except for a draw with Elmo by the end of the year. Really felt like they were just out of energy. It's hard to play when you have a rough year, and Petaluma so far poised to look like it's going to go a lot better this year, and been fighting hard so far in this one. And valiant defending, but so far not a lot of creativity on the offensive end for Petaluma. Couple substitutions for Roseland. They've got plenty of depth, as you can see on your bench, even more than Petaluma. 6 reserves for Roseland, 4 for Petaluma. Oh, a hard foul. Could see a card out as Ryan Duff, center defending mid, forcing him back down. He wanted the yellow card. Coach for Roseland, Ford, having to make a save. Not too much mustard on that one, but he's looked very poised in goal so far tonight. And Petaluma hasn't been able to control his goal kicks, and that's been a major issue in ball possession tonight. It's got to be about 65 to 70% Roseland. Knights trying to get into a passing rhythm here. If there were a lot of fans, they'd start going to Olay, like you see the Spanish fans do at the World Cup. But not too much of a rhythm. That one heads out once again. Ford's leg's going to be tired by the end of the first half. Swanson's been busy as well, leading this back end for Petaluma. Davis boots it forward, but no one on the end of it. 25 minutes. Gone 15 minutes to go in this first half. 0-0 the score from Steve Ellison Field, Roseland, and Petaluma. Knights, maybe with an opportunity here. Nice play by Shumakowski to run it down. And now the Trojans get it forward. They've done a good job in moments of stress to actually build some offense off of it. Second time we've seen that tonight. Obviously, you don't want to get in bad situations, but when Roseland's really pushing up, it looks like they have an opportunity. As we see a foul on Roseland. When it really looks like they have an opportunity, you're going to see, we've seen more chances for Petaluma on the other end when they've defended valiantly. Elvis Gonzalez, center mid, one of the best players out on the pitch, will send one in and maybe gets an opportunity here for Petaluma. High arcing. Headed out, so a corner for the Trojans, first of the night. Maybe a chance for a little bit more. Defenders get up too. Swanson and Davis coming in. The Trojans pushing up, trying to give themselves an opportunity here. It will be Irving Juarez, the junior center mid, to take the corner. Davis nearly got on the end of that one, but headed back out. Juarez lets it head out, and he'll have take two. Trojans getting bodies in the box. That's all you can ask for. Haven't had a lot of it tonight. Dangerous corner by Juarez. In the end, a little too close to the keeper, and Ayala able to handle it. Not a bad idea. Takes it out wide. Shumakowski stealing it. Trojan still got numbers forward. Excellent pass ahead to Cortez de Leon. Beautiful little play with the left foot. Centers it. Tamario unable to get the shot off, though. Excellent run-up of offense, though, by Petaluma. Shumakowski, the senior, starting that one off. A misplay. Ford called out by Swanson. And in the end, Swanson clearing it away himself. Worked out. A lot more energy on the pitch in the last couple minutes. That's what you want to see, both coaches. Trojans will get some time off as well. I went a little too far for Gonzalez. They don't play again until next Tuesday against San Marin. And league play is just 2 weeks away from starting. Everything pushed up this year in all the sports. Normally expect league play not to start till January, but it's got a pre-winter finals start this year. But it adds to the excitement. You always wait for league play to start and you get it earlier. I don't think too many complaints from people. Though it is certainly going to be very cold when play starts. And you're also dealing with the stress of finals. It is a little bit dewy out there. It hasn't rained in a day. But the artificial turf going to be slippery. That one fired, and Ford making the save. You would have wanted to go to the far post if you're the Knight there. Ford was crowding that right post, but Not a lot of power on that shot. Wasn't an easy one. Here Roseland goes again down that right side, where they've looked. Petaluma clears it. It's been Brian Cruz, Christian Estrada, been the main two culprits leading this Roseland offense and trying to get them some opportunities. The Trojans trying to get Cortez de Leon. DeMario has provided a spark when he's entered. Gonzalez and Carlito Garcia. Hard-fought battle. Roseland's won a lot of those 50-50 balls. Petaluma needs to do more of that if they want to have a chance to win this game tonight. Balls are in the air. Side two goes up, header off, and it's less about position, less about skill in that play. It's just about who wants it more, who gives a little bit more effort in that play. As the Trojans get it forward, Ayala coming out, and then it nearly almost got behind him. He took a horrible angle, and DeMario was in the area lurking like a shark. Ayala's had a couple frantic moments, but he's been able to deal with it without disaster striking. One mistake can be disaster, especially in what has been a cagey cat and mouse affair between these two so far. 0-0. We've just about reached the 30th minute of action here in this first half. That's offsides. Roseland's been a little bit undisciplined tonight, and it is starting to dramatically cool down. You know it's getting cold when you can see the fog coming in, the bright lights. That's going to substantially cool down here. The sunset just before the kick of this one. This one a lot earlier than most games. Will start at 6 with the JV at 4, but this one an hour up. I don't think anyone's complaining. It is hard on these soccer players. Pretty much every game they're going to play, with the exception of a couple afternoon games, are going to be very chilly night games. Games in the 50s and 40s for the most part. Petaluma was going to have a game on Saturday at 1 and actually get an afternoon game. Davis is going to throw it in here. But we're going to take on Deer Valley. Transportation issues for the high school from Antioch. We weren't able to get it in. They are going to try to make it up, but no date has been set yet. Probably a Saturday later on in the season. VVAL mostly on the weekdays. Roseland just clears it away, but Petaluma has picked it up a little bit offensively, and there really hasn't been any problems on the other end for them. Alex Sosa, who was star senior captain last year for Petaluma, now at the JC, helping coach this team up with head coach Greg Lamancy and the rest of his staff. It heads out. Well, it should have been Petaluma ball. So it appeared. Prokop thought certainly, but no. Swanson has been all over the field tonight. Right side of the field, left side of the field, chasing down balls. You talk about how much soccer players run. He's ran more than any other player out there tonight, no doubt about it. Trying to just clear it forward, but with that speed on the other end, you never know if you can get a spark. Cortez de Leon, DeMario. Excellent play by Shumakowski. There was some fancy footwork there by Jose Pineda. The Trojans able to solve it. There's a little bit of ball control for Petaluma. Want to get into some rhythm, get some ball control, build something up. They haven't done much of it. Shumakowski, the hesitation move. And DeMario just a little bit off for Juarez. You got to work as one if you're a team. Trojan's passing, which was so good on Tuesday night against El Molino, it hasn't looked right there for the most of this one. Getting it forward and just a little bit too far. Ryan Duff, a striker and attacking mid, unable to catch up to it. Still no scores. We're nearing the end of this first half. Not any great chances for both teams, though they certainly had some opportunities. Roseland really with the best one, a couple frantic moments down on their end. Trojans had a nice looking corner, and early Ayala had to come out and make a dangerous save. Ford's made one nice save and some frantic defense at one point, and a flurry by Roseland around the net. Besides that, it's been a quiet affair. Chem session ongoing, but it has been a game with some exciting moments, and it's continuing to capture the attention of chemistry students. Mr. Victor Brazil with his patio. Of course, we've did all the football live streams up there, and no guarantees for soccer, but maybe if there's a big girl or boys game, we could head up to the patio and do a game live. The cold certainly is a disincentive to all of it, and getting a staff out here for that as Ford dives out and makes an exceptional play. An attempt to flop, I think, though he looks actually hurt. So, no, he's actually hurt, my bad. Ford made an exceptional play, and slowly picking himself up and jogging off is the Roseland Knight. Excellent play by Ford. Dangerous pass, and if he doesn't get to that, you got to be confident he doesn't get to that. That's going to be a goal, and you can sit back, but that is the smarter play. And Ford has been excellent in goal so far tonight. Davis just having to poke it out on the end line. Roseland unable to control it. Trojans have not lost a game this year. 0-0 draw to start the season against Healdsburg. 1-0 victory against Annalee to start. And a 2-0 victory against El Molino on Tuesday. There is no score here at the end of 40 minutes. Petaluma 0, Roseland 0. Second half coming up next. All right, ready to go here. Start of the second half. Trojans will start with the ball. Switch sides of the field. Shots being encouraged by Coach Greg Lemansky and the entire Petaluma team. They want more shots on goal. Obviously, that was something that was lacking in the first half. Paul whistle dead as Petaluma pushes it up. Expect to see a little bit more aggressiveness, so he's interesting, whatever the case, to see what changes the team will make. Deflects, and that's a corner for Roseland. Trojans will play San Marin in their next game on the 11th. Stay home against Las Lomas on the 15th, and then the very challenging league schedule starts. They actually don't start their league until January. They have a bye in the first week. They'll take on Vintage, who's ranked in the top 100 in California for their soccer team this year, and was top 100 last year. They have a powerhouse there. They'll be on the road against Vintage Dope at VVAL on the 3rd. Roseland with their third corner of the game. They went short corner before. Here they send it into the box dangerously. It's sent back out. Is it deflected? Take two. Headed away, and Petaluma might have a break the other way. Gonzalez with lots of room to work with. Slows it up, sends it long. DeMario was hoping he was going to get it to DeMario, but way too far. Tries to get it for a nice effort by Davis. Got to win those 50-50 balls. Cortez de Leon scored against El Molino on Tuesday with a nifty move. Back to Davis. Sent it forward, but A little bit too far. Petaluma certainly being a little bit more aggressive. Looking long here, a little bit more similar to Roseland with some of these lengthy passes. 0-0 draw was the feeling out process in the first half. You saw both teams get more creative. Now they're going to really be going for it. Trojans have to be happy with their defense so far. Really played valiantly, stood up to this dangerous Roseland attack that scored 2 goals against Healdsburg as this one is sent in! And an exceptional save! One of the best chances of the game. Ryan Duff got on the end of that one, but unable to finish. Got the cleat of his foot against it, and it might have just prevented a little bit more power, and otherwise that one might have been in the back of the net. Nice save by Ayala as well, but an excellent pass to get it in there. And the Trojans' newfound aggression to start here so far working out better possession in this second half. And the best chance of the game for Petaluma all game. Mentioned the defense has been a plus, but now they need to turn that good defense into offense. Lots of room to work with. Over to Shimikowski. Head coach Greg Lemansky signaling his approval, and it's sent in! And Ayala able to make the save. Cortez de Leon so close to getting a foot on that and potentially making it 1-0, but the Trojans with back-to-back very close chances. Shimikowski outside now to Cortez de Leon. This place is buzzing. Cortez de Leon crosses it, and an excellent play by the Roseland defender. If that one got by, and there was a Trojan, there were a couple lurking on the far post able to get it, they had a wide open goal. And the Trojans are playing with a lot of energy. Out of halftime, Irving Juarez poking it out. This looks like a far more energized team here out of the proverbial locker room. They really stayed on the field, but the figurative locker room at least. Roseland turning it over again. Trojans are definitely pushing up a little bit more. Davis battling against the line. Back to Swanson. Was excellent in that first half. DeMario. Fancy footwork. Shimikowski. Getting it forward, looking for Cortez de Leon, gets a head on it! And he was going to be offsides, was Duff. But if he had just timed it, he would have hit it perfectly. You could hear Ethan Ford screaming across the field to keep it up. This Trojan team coming out with excellence out of the second half. And if they can keep this going, and you do worry about the counterattack, but if they can keep this going, it feels like they're sure to find the end of one. Roseland was sitting down at the end of the first half. Trojans play with a quick pace, value their conditioning, and that's getting them a little bit in the second half so far. It's only their second game. They've had a lot less experience in-game than Petaluma based on the scheduling. They're stolen away. And then Juarez diving on the ground to get it, but now there's some danger. Ford's going to let it roll to him as Brian Cruz was running it down. Not a great clear by Ford, but he'll get shake too. Not much better on a second chance. This one booted near to the 40-yard line. Duff trying to get it back into it. Duff was pretty quiet in that first half. He is running all over the place right now. It looks a lot better. That one hit the ref, which will be a Trojan break. Davis will throw it in. Pop in the Trojan step. DeMario. Talented freshman, Gianluca DeMario. Nearly running it down, and then a near steal as well. Schrock, who re-entered, took the second half with the first half off. 5 minutes gone in the second half, 0-0, but a totally different game so far. All Petaluma in these first 5 minutes. That one headed out, but stays Trojan ball. It was about 65-35 Roseland possession in that first half. This second half has been probably 70-30 Petaluma. Now the cowbell's been out tonight. Now we got a little whistle to boot as well. As the Trojans push up, you can see it with the defense. You typically stand around midfield. Swanson right there. Davis all the way out at the 40. The center back is sent in. DeMario falls down, wanted a penalty. Gonzalez takes it out, tries to fire. Catch Roseland off guard, but there was a wall of Knights there to block it out. Davis sends it right back in. Excellent job by Duff. He went way up into the air. Wow, just Dariah Duff single-handedly nearly stole that one away. He is playing excellent soccer to start. Well, they're going to give him a yellow. I don't know about that. Looked like a clean header to me. So Duff's going to have to be careful now, as he has been put in the referee's book. Looked like a hard header. He did land on top of the net, but not really much you could do about it. Questionable decision by the referee, but that's going to make Duff take a seat, which is a huge disappointment. That is a big call there. I don't know about Coach Lemansky. You want to take him out, even though he has a yellow. Here's some danger on the other end. Cruz nearly running it down. Petaluma having to clear it. Well, we could see the opposite of what we saw in the first half. Counterattacks by Roseland, with Petaluma controlling the offense. Trojans trying to get it forward. A yellow, a huge boot. That man's got a leg. And Cruz nearly running it down, but an excellent play by Shumakowski to clear it. And there's a whistle for some reason. Offsides. Both teams pretty young. 6 seniors for Roseland, 5 for Petaluma. Not Trojans with more returners, however. Team trying to build off a rough season last season. They're putting things together more this year. Talked about improvement. We've seen the improvement from first half to second half in this game so far. Approaching the 10-minute mark. No score. Roseland down the wing here. Cross through. But no night on the end of it. Cleared away by Prokop. Nice play there. Gonzalez going forward, looking for Cortez de Leon. He's tugged. Now he's thrown to the ground. There has to be, they're playing advantage, I would assume. There's no foul? I do not understand. He's saying he dived. I mean, he grabbed his jersey. I don't, that is ridiculous. It doesn't even make sense. Davis throws it in. Should have been a free kick for Petaluma at about that 15-yard line at a great spot. And just a completely missed call that every single person in the stands saw, and I think even Roseland was expecting. Knight's ball. Oh, nearly a huge play there, one-on-one. Cortez de Leon, one of the speediest players on the field, and he has a great finish as well. Hasn't been able to use it. If not for the tug of the jersey, at least would have been a free kick. But he looked like he was going to run that down. He was ahead of the Knights defender. This one is set to hit it. Davis has to head it out. Oh, skilled play by Cortez de Leon to get it forward. Looking for Carlito Garcia. It's been a little quiet. But excellent battle. Trojans are winning a lot more of the 50-50 balls so far in the second half, and that has made a difference. Nearing the 10-minute mark in the second half. Hard-fought battle by DeMario. Unable to win it, but Shumakowski, who's kind of the vocal leader out on the field, hear him talking a lot. He's played well, attacking mid-position. Gonzalez, can't find a recipient on the end of that one. Schrock, the nice header to keep it in. Trojans much better ball possession. Irving Juarez. Shumakowski. Trojans pushing it forward. They are not getting the calls of the ref tonight, but they're just going to have to deal with that. That's a hard play there by Juarez. That's an excellent play by Irving Juarez. Able to win that one. Schrock to DeMario, who's just so excellent with the ball on his feet, moving it. And DeMario looked like he stepped on. Now they call a foul. Well, that one was impossible not to call. The evidence is in the limp. So a free kick for the Trojans right at the 30-yard line, 40 yards out. A chance to send this one into the box, potentially get ahead on the end of it. Trojans don't have great height, though, compared to Roseland, which does hurt them in that area. Juarez, send it away. Oh, they've got it into it! He was offsides, though. DeMario just left his line a little early. Nice job by Roseland. You talk about holding your line. You stay in your spot, and if the player leaves it, they're going to be offsides, and that's what happened there. The Knights have got something going down the wing here, and they've got players as well. And an excellent job. Swanson to clear it. Desperation defending. The Roseland crowd getting vocal on that side of the field. Sends it across. Oh, my. Now, Roseland's had some crosses, and they just cannot connect. And then a nice job there by Pablo Cortez de Leon. The foul given to the Knights. We've seen a couple counterattacks and a couple more opportunities down the wing for Roseland in the second half. But overall, more creativity, more aggressiveness by both sides. A 0-0 draw. It's already happened in Petaluma season. I don't think they really want to do it again. Juarez dipping and darting. Gonzalez. Trojans push up with Shumakowski. DeMario. Gonzalez trying to get it, but Roseland's been the one that's just had to clear it away. Much more intense second half here than the first. It's been played at a different level. Gonzalez has options. He's got it out wide to DeMario. DeMario misses wide. The best opportunity. And the freshman cannot believe it. He had his opportunity, and the groans are loud. Excellent passing. DeMario stays on his line and leaves at the perfect time. Everything was perfect. The setup, the play, but the execution at the end and the finish wasn't there. DeMario a chance to make it 1-0. Just missed it to the left. Wasn't a bad job by the Knights goalkeeper and Cesar Ayala, the senior, to pressure DeMario on that one at the left post, and in the end he floated it left. He had a tight window, there was no doubt about it, but he certainly had an opportunity there. Drones are right back at it. You can't dwell on missed chances. Cortez de Leon's making Roseland players look left and right. That's not a foul. That's another bad call by this ref. He showed up late, and he's not made some good calls. It's not a great night. Nearing the 15-minute mark of the second half. No score from Steve Ellison Field. Petaluma and Roseland University Prep. Or it could be confused. Roseland Collegiate Prep is their sister school right in the area. They're rivals. But the Knights are the ones with the strong soccer program. We'll see some subs. Shumakowski takes a seat for the first time tonight. He has played very well. Tony Wilson at defense will re-enter. Been a lot of action on the far side of the field. It's just how things have worked, even with the flip field. They've done much of the right side. That was a hard play, and you could hear it in the pain and yell from Brian Cruz, who's played well tonight, but it looks like the ref's got his card out again, and I'm not sure. I think it was Schrock. We'll see who he gives it to. Duff continues to be on the bench, who was playing excellently before he was taken out with a yellow. It's on Juarez. Oh, it is, I don't know. Cruz looks fine now, and he certainly looked in some pain before. Flopping exists even at the high school level. Good job by Petaluma. There was no room for that shot. If they could have run it down, they could have pushed it the other way. Gonzalez in tow there. Takes a bounce. Knight's ball. Hard-fought, intense battle in the second half. Both teams have brought it up. To both teams' credit, Petaluma's had the chances, though. DeMario with a Class A opportunity to score. It was him and the goalkeeper, but he missed it to the left. Set in! It scores! Roseland has struck first. No, he's offsides! He is offsides! Oh, me, oh, my. Roseland had thought they had scored. That is heartbreaking for the Knights. Just a lot of traffic in the box. They got it in. They found a man, but he had left early. You hold your line if you're Petaluma. And finally, the refs have not been good tonight, but they make a huge call there and give a huge help to Petaluma. The Knights had already started to celebrate. It was a late, late call. Oh, a second chance here. Ford will come on out, but Roseland now with some energy. They can't dwell on what they thought was a near goal, and they're going to try to push. Again, pushing it forward here. Is Petaluma's energy they had in these first 5-10 minutes lost. Davis boots it forward. Devin Chenzi has just re-entered. He came in when Shumakowski went out. Will head coach Greg Lamancy put Duff back in, who was so good to start this one. And a whistle on if he was out. Number 16 for the Knights. Manuel Arbor, sophomore. We talked about how young they are. We've not seen most of the seniors be in the majority of the play for the Knights. And the Trojans are young too, especially at the top, but they do involve a lot of their seniors and top players. Shumakowski's been very involved. Cortez de Leon takes a hard fall, no call. But DeMario has had the best chance today. Cortez de Leon's had a couple as well. Hard-fought battle by Schrock. These teams paddle on the Knights side of the field right now. Oh, come on. And they have not called this equally here tonight. A lot tighter here in the second half. Trojans have been booked twice. Petaluma not at all. That's a questionable clear there just to the sideline. A little bit of panic from Prokop, sophomore center back. Halfway point of this second half. Still no score. Roseland's had one called back because of an offsides. DeMario had the best opportunity for Petaluma. Roseland has their fourth corner of the day, but after the Trojans had a big surge first 10 minutes, Roseland has started to answer, and they are pushing for that goal now. That one a little too far all the way over the line. We're going to see some more substitutions. Cristobal ready to make his way in, as is Shumakowski. Defense hasn't had to do as much work in the second half for Petaluma. Juarez will come off. DeMario, who had the opportunity for the goal. Actually, Wilson, my bad, will come off. Cortez de Leon unable to win it along the edge. This has been a good one here tonight. Thank you for joining us here on Trojan Live. Hope to be at least a couple more boys soccer games over the course of the year. They'll be right here on our YouTube channel and in the soccer playlist, as this one is put into the box. Forward bobbles it and then does a nice job trapping it underneath his leg and averts a potential catastrophe for the Trojans. You don't want to give one away easily here. That'd be a heartbreaking. Be a lot of pressure. See more subs here as Reed and Cristobal will come on, and Luis Carlito Garcia, who's one of the more talented players on the field, been pretty quiet in this one. Had a couple opportunities early, but it's mostly been DeMario and Cortez de Leon up top. Cristobal's going to now head up top. But interesting that Lemansky takes out two of his more talented strikers. Wants maybe some experience, and the pressure rises as the game gets later. There's a little bit less offense out there right now for Petaluma. They've had chances, but they've also nearly given up one. A center route across, cleared away. Shumakowski will just boot it long. Devin Chenzi, the experienced senior. Oh, Cruz was open. Couldn't get it to him. Now they send it on. Ford coming out, and it is in. There's no offsides this time. Number 4 for the Knights has scored, as it was Eduardo Baltasar with the goal. And it is 1-0 Roseland. While the Knights have pressed, they've increased their attacking in the second half, and they had a lot of options. They had multiple options, even though they got slowed. So the Trojan defense able to get back. Ford probably made the right decision to come out, and he got to it, but it was just a touch late and unable to stop it. The Trojans came out with so much energy, but they have not been able to maintain it. Got bailed out with the offsides, but nothing this time. So 1-0 Knights, and the Trojans are going to need to answer now. So Roseland forces it out. See the disappointment with Cristobal. Petaluma trying to avoid their first loss of the season, but now the clock becomes not their friend. Less than 20 minutes to go. Gonzalez was pushed in the back there, and that's going to be a nice spot for a free kick. And Ayala, who's come up with one save tonight, could have to come up with another one as the talented junior Gonzalez getting ready. Elvis Gonzalez, the singer, certainly was quite a star. Gonzalez trying to make himself a star here as the Trojans will set up to the right. Again, not a lot of height, though. Does give them a disadvantage here. Roseland building a three-person wall. Gonzalez buries it right into the wall. I'm going to get it over. Take two is again off the wall. And didn't have enough height. Trojans have to place it back. It's dangerous if passing is an issue on the back end, and not great there. Trojans' passing has been iffy at points. Juarez almost with a stiff arm there. This is a non-contact sport in theory. Trojans trying to push it forward, but haven't been able to maintain the possession and rhythm passing that they had the first 10 minutes of the second half. We saw the potential for Petaluma, how good they looked for 10-15 minutes of this one, but it's gone away. Cortez de Leon. He's got a lot of white jerseys to get around. He's going to wait for a couple of his friends. Out wide to Cristobal. Sends it into DeMario, who recently re-entered, and a nice header away. Roseland again just clearing. And now Cristobal. Spin move, but ran into too much. You can't do it yourself. You gotta be a team. Swanson, excellent play. David Swanson. Looks like a David Swanson, and he plays like a man on a mission. He's been excellent on the back end tonight. Very similar name to Dansby Swanson, former #1 overall pick in the MLB draft. Now a member of the Atlanta Braves. I don't think any relation, but I could be wrong. Junior. That went off the back of a Rosen player. Didn't know it was coming. Petaluma's got an opportunity here. Gonzalez. Sit back. Shumakowski. No call. Vocal stands for Roseland. And offsides is called on Cortez de Leon. At 15 minutes left. And Duff looks like he might finally come back in. He had really looked like he was the spark for Petaluma, but got a very suspect yellow card after Cortez de Leon had been pulled down with the jersey and they hadn't called a foul. And Coach Lamancy decided to take him out with the yellow, and kind of with him has gone a lot of the offense that DeMario did have the chance after he was taken out. Nice play by Juarez to get up. A little chip. And just had to be cleared by Roseland. That one's they're gonna need a ball. That one heads over the fence and well into the long jump pits over those stands. Night turning chilly. It's been a upbeat, loud night. Schrock is gonna take a seat. And Luis Carlito Garcia, the sophomore striker, will re-enter. Has one goal. Trojans need one goal. Trailing 1-0. Clock ticking away towards 10 minutes left to go, plus stoppage time. Traffic in the middle. Trojans weren't able to get a shot off. And then Roseland clearing it away. Juarez battling hard. They'll go back to Davis. Swanson getting up. Trojans trying to keep it in. They send it forward. Mikowski, senior leader out there. He'll lead both with his voice and with heart. Roseland ball. Now, Roseland, who hasn't had much ball possession in the second half, but they have a goal and really kind of a 5-minute surge. They finished with the goal. Petaluma's pretty much been in possession for the majority of the second half. Roseland was able to get a break going, had players in the box earlier too. And call, no foul call there, and then you're calling it both ways. Gonzalez with a nifty play, getting it forward, hoping Cortez de Leon can catch up to it. He's gonna press Ayala. No avail. So, Trojans have re-entered. Ryan Duff has a goal, and it's been a spark for Petaluma in this second half. They might need him. Roseland won 2-1 over Healdsburg last week, a team that Petaluma drew with on a 0-0 scoreless draw. Trojans love to be an NCS this year, and victory over a good Roseland team would be a big statement. Roseland trying to remain undefeated and continue their strong play to start the year and show they can play even with a young team in winter now that they move from fall to winter. It's all on the line here, and this should be a frantic last 10 minutes. Heads out, Petaluma ball, mentioning earlier, right here on this Trojan Live YouTube channel. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Whenever we go live, you get an email. And whenever we post a video. So soccer, basketball live streams start next week, next Friday night. Boys basketball team taking on Santa Rosa, and then the following day, girls basketball team taking on Novato. Both teams are up playing tournaments today in Santa Rosa. It's tournament action. The girls soccer team will continue to cover them as well, and then the wrestling team we were 2 weeks away yesterday from their VVAL opener against a good vintage team. That's going to be a big one towards deciding the VVAL title. Trojans trying to win the Vine Valley. Certainly have a shot to. Exciting times in winter sports for these teams. Davis gets it forward, took a deflection. Roseland clearing it away. You got to want it more here if you're Petaluma. Win those 50-50 balls. Nice job by Juarez. Nice passing. Duff, Juarez, Davis. Got to work as one as soccer team. When you see that, things can go well. It was a nice-looking header by DeMario, but there was no one on the end of it. And Roseland is feeling pretty comfortable at this point just to clear it away and try to hold on to their lead. Now down the wing, but offside, just barely. It was Brian Cruz. The junior had the assist on the goal. Tony Cerezo, the freshman, scored. Likely his first varsity goal. There was a lot of excitement around him. Under 10, and we don't have a scoreboard. The clock is on the rest watch and up to his discretion, so it's hard to know exactly how much time is left. Petaluma has to push. And a foul. DeMario forces on it, and many of the Trojan supporters wanting that one to go in the book, but no call on the hard push. Trojans will get another free kick. More men in the box, and Another opportunity here for more action. Gonzalez will do the honors once again. The chemistry study session of Mr. Brazils is wrapped up, and they've gone home for the night. Sent it dangerously, and running it down was Duff trying to get to it. Coming way off his mark was Ayala, but in the end, Duff couldn't do much with it. Dangerous ball, but Trojans have been unable to get the one last ingredient to a goal so far tonight. It was what they struggled with against Healdsburg in their draw last week. Able to score 3 goals in their last 2 games, but nothing so far tonight. Again, they don't play for nearly another week. Plenty of time to rest for them after this. Roseland will take on San Marin Friday. They have a busy schedule. They started kind of slow to the season, but a little bit more balanced. Trojans certainly will be happy to get the weekend off. Juarez, Swanson, who's been excellent. Duff to Gonzalez, that's an excellent job. And then Dean DeMaria was streaking down the middle of the field. So hard, though, to get your striker in the middle of the field. Often got to look down the wings because they will clog the middle of the field to defense, especially when they're holding back. Trojans got it up, but it was Ayala who makes the play. Still 1-0. Handball on Gonzalez. Trojans ever so close to goal. Tomorrow, Roseland thought they had goal number 1 on offside, but it was an offsides called back, but just a couple minutes later, he scored. It was a nice pass downfield, a break. Tony Cerezo finished, assist by Cruz. Excellent pass. It was a similar long ball. Ford tried to come out and make the save, but he was just a touch bit late, and he was able to deflect it, but it still nestled in the back of the net. Right corner, oh, the referee. Well, maybe that was some karma. He just got hit right in the head. And now he's saying it's Roseland ball. Roseland's going to play it. Now, it's a smart play by the Knights. Kind of a little comedy there. Looks like it's going to be a corner kick for Roseland. Last touch by the Trojans. 1-0. Buenalado, which would be good. Might be a good job. Is the call from the Roseland supporters. About 5 minutes left to go here in this ballgame. Been a good run here from Steve Ellison Field. These teams pretty even. Possession's probably going to be split about 50-50. Both teams have had a fair amount of chances. But it was one 5-minute surge by Roseland that got them their goal. Trojans looked like they had their own about 5-10 minute surge, and man, they had a couple opportunities, but in the end it's about finishing, getting that last ingredient in soccer, putting it all together. And so far it's been Roseland that has had that one magical moment, couple substitutions, tired bodies out there for Roseland, done a lot of running. Trojans have worked them hard. Well-coached game by Tony Fonseca has had to make some adjustments. It's been cat and mouse. Both teams have made some adjustments. They both worked at times. Battling with the flag there. It's going to be Trojan ball. And there's no time to waste at this point if you're Petaluma. You got to get downfield and start getting opportunities. Gonzalez send it forward to Cortez de Leon. Gianluca DeMario was on the other end. Not a good free kick. Duff sends it forward. Cortez de Leon unable to get... Oh, now he runs it down. Excellent job by the sophomore. He's the smallest guy in between two. And he has forced a corner. Excellent job by the sophomore. There's going to be a free kick, looks like, just outside the box. Juarez will take the corner. Trojans' third corner. Had a couple shots ricochet through the box, but no one's gotten on the end of them. Is this the equalizing chance? Sent in and cleared away. An important play by Duff to get it out. There was not a lot of defenders back. The Trojans having to push up at this point. And that one right on the Roseland sideline. You can see the Trojans' urgency now. We're well under 5, and exactly how much time left is anyone's guess with no scoreboard for today's game. Duff. So good to start the second half. Come on. It's just been, and that's Duff's second. He's done. And it's unfortunate because I don't think either one was a yellow. And Duff has played well tonight. I don't know if there's much you can say. So the Trojans now with 10 men and needing to come back. And it gets even more challenging. The limp slowly gets a little better. We'll see what the Trojans can do, but down a man is going to be even more challenging. They're going to stay Roseland ball. Don't want to make reffing the story, but it has been certainly it's going to be a frustration for Petaluma after this game. A matter of result. Reffing's not normally a story in soccer. You don't want it to be. The refs have not done a good job. They've made it a story. Shimakowski battling hard, and Swanson just having to play emergency back there. He's done that a lot tonight. Does an excellent job maneuvering around the line. He's excellent defending tonight. Shimakowski gets it forward. Shimon to DeMario. Out wide. It's just been a very quiet game for Luis Carlito Garcia, getting his first varsity goal last game. He's pretty absent on this Thursday night. Handball. Ayala is going to come out and take this free kick. Petaluma down to 10 men and down to the last few minutes of this one. Trailing 1-0. It's about the 65th minute. Roseland scored. They try to go to 2-0. And offsides is called. That is offsides. Second time it's been called back. Ford needs to rush in and get it. That one pretty clear. So it was Christian Estrada who had broken free, but Trojans hold their line there. Shimakowski's going to have to kick this one away. That is it. Final score here tonight from Steve Ellison Field. It's the Roseland University Prep Knights 1, the Petaluma Trojans 0. Duff gets a red card at the very near end of this game, but Roseland able to get a goal in the 65th minute, and that makes the difference. Petaluma had a surge. They had some opportunities, but unable to get their goal. A tough loss. These teams were even tonight, but things to learn and take away from it. It was a good one in the end. 1-0 the final. We'll have interviews next.
David Swanson, Trojans fall short tonight. It was a tight game. You really played very well, battled defensively. How were you able to kind of keep Roseland at bay for the majority of this game?
You just have to take it each moment at a time, read the situation, do what you think's best, and go your hardest every time.
You guys seem pretty even with Roseland. Obviously, there were some frustrating calls in this game. How do you deal with when the ref doesn't seem to be calling it your way and keep on fighting?
I mean, at the end of the day, anything you say to him isn't really going to change his opinion. You just have to keep going and do what you can do.
This team has had a rough year last year. You guys have so far played pretty well to start the season. What's your expectations for you guys this season? How do you keep on improving?
I think the best way to keep on improving and end as well as we can is just take it each match at the time and focus on what you can do in that game to win that one.
You guys defended pretty well for the majority of the night, especially in the first half. Rosen was really aggressive. How do you work with your other defenders to kind of work as one and limit any holes?
Communication is key. You have to let everyone know what you can see, and it goes every way so that everyone knows where everyone is. And then past that, you just have to focus on the man and do what you think's best in the moment.
Thank you so much, David. Here with the captain, one of the two captains of the Trojans, Elvis Gonzalez, after a tough 1-0 loss. Felt like it was a pretty even game tonight against Roseland. What do you take away?
Well, I take away that we played really good as a team. We played very compact, good soccer, just that we need to work on finishing, but it's just a little more step closer to becoming successful, I guess.
You guys had a couple opportunities to score tonight, real close. How do you work on finishing and getting that last goal?
Well, I mean, that just comes in the game. We need in practice, we need to work on that, and I'm for sure we're going to work for that because that's what's going to take us to the next level.
Mm-hmm. You guys are a pretty young team. You're one of the captains here. You've been on the team for 3 years. How do you help lead this team with 6 underclassmen?
Well, I always try to motivate them and set an example, always to push them, try to make them do their best because I was once there, and the people that taught me to keep going, I'm going to keep doing that to them so that they can get better and they can get used to playing this level of varsity.
This team already looks like they're improving a lot over a couple games. You guys look like you improved from the first half to the second half today. How do you guys, over this season, continue to see that improvement, and where do you want to see the team at the end of the year?
Well, we need to just keep in practice. We need to keep taking things seriously, and that's basically it. That's going to take us to the next level, and that's going to take us to be successful in the league. Good thing this is preseason, and this is where we learn.
Thank you so much, Elvis. All right, that's going to do it here at Steve Ellison Field. It has turned very chilly on this Thursday night. A frustrating loss, 1-0 to a very good Roseland team. Even though the Trojans do fall, they really played even with Roseland, and you can't blame the game on the refs, but they certainly had a major factor in deciding this one. You can even argue, I haven't gone back and watched it, you can take a look at that goal. Heard some fans in the stands saying Roseland's goal was offsides. Obviously, they had 2 others called back. Thank you. They had 2 others called back that were offsides. The clear penalty or foul there, and then Ryan Duff also getting 2 very questionable yellows were part of the spree of poor reffing decision. Head coach Greg Lindmansky had some choice words for the referee, much deserved after the game. In the end, the Trojans fall 1-0. They weren't able to get that finishing touch near the goal. They'll need that, but defended very valiantly. This is an experienced back line. It's probably the strength of the Trojans, and this team didn't look younger and inexperienced tonight. This team has already improved a lot. They had a great stretch early in the second half where it really looked like they were going to get a goal, and there's a lot of opportunity on this Petaluma team to continue improving, a lot of opportunity to play some good teams in VVAL, but there's opportunities to get wins. American Canyon, Casa Grande, Justin Siena, they should be in the middle of the league if they can continue to improve and maybe even knock off a good team. They fought well against a good team tonight, and in the end, it was a good game between 2 good teams. Final score here from Steve Ellison Field is 1-0. Don't forget to check out our next sports coverage, which will be a week from tomorrow, Friday night. The boys basketball team takes on Santa Rosa. It'll also be live on our YouTube channel at 7 o'clock. Don't miss that. That's going to do it here from Steve Ellison Field. I'm Griffin Epstein. For everyone here at Trojan Live, the final score here on the Varsity Boys soccer game, Petaluma Trojans 0, Roseland University Prep Knights 0. Good night.